All right, Franz. What's happening, my man, with your Borghardt Law fleece vest?
When it's not cold enough to wear a jacket or really a fleece, but you got to represent. Here I am wearing the mullet of the fleece world, right? A vest.
It is the mullet. I will go with that.
I'm making
because you know Patrick Grimion, who's here every Thursday.
Patty G, baby.
He was born in a vest, and not like a three-piece suit vest, like a Marty McFly Back to the Future vest.
When I wake up in the morning, I say, "Who do I want to be like? God, Jesus, Patty G."
Yeah.
In that order.
In that order.
I'm doing great, guys. How are you guys doing?
I didn't even ask yet. How you doing?
Yeah.
So good. How am I doing? You can hear how nasally I am today.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's every year. This year's worse than most. I think it's because it's hitting sooner. But once you see azaleas, you know I'm going to sound like this.
Yeah.
Beauty
comes at a cost, babe.
Bro.
So, you remember when we used to only have like documentaries about true crime stuff, about cases?
Cold cases.
Yeah, or after. Like the OJ movie came after.
Yeah.
A little while after, but after.
Peterson, Michael Peterson was well after.
Staircase.
The staircase. I still believe the owl theory, by the way.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, Netflix, and it's very smart of them, right? It's very smart of them. How about we do documentaries during the case? How about we do documentaries like before the case? Like, but when I say before the case, I mean before the trial or during the trial. It's a thing now.
No, clearly it is. This is the worst possible scenario for where entertainment can go because this isn't entertainment. This is the actual people who have actually died.
So here's the thing. This jury in the low country, we're talking about Alec Murdaugh, disgraced
Which, by
attorney.
the way, if you see the name Murdaugh,
I have difficulty with it.
Murdaugh is how I pronounce it.
I have difficulty with it. When I talk about it on Court TV, I have difficulty. See that random, but yet
not random.
Yeah.
Not random.
So this is how I know about the case.
You've written on the sheet 5 times.
I have been talking about this national case, this disgraced lawyer who's on trial for murdering. Who's he on trial for murdering?
His wife and son.
His wife and son. Like, and when I say disgraced, I mean like from generations of small town lawyers, like they've got a portrait of one of his family members in the courtroom that they had to remove for the trial.
Right.
So the jury in this trial hasn't been sequestered, which is a fancy way of saying they haven't been put in a hotel outside of the media. They haven't had their cell phones taken away from them. It ain't hard. You can watch Netflix on your cell phone.
Right.
I watch Netflix on my cell phone.
Right.
When you're working out, do you ever watch Netflix sometimes?
No, I usually have the Pandora going.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't work out intense. Right. I have to watch a Netflix show. But my point is, now we have crime documentaries happening during trials that juries could watch.
That's the point.
Right.
That's the point, is that the juries can watch. So when a jury is sworn in, they are, or when they're selected, what you do as a criminal defense attorney is make sure all that they're hearing is what's heard in the courtroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's gone.
All they're supposed to hear.
Right.
All the jury is supposed to hear, and I say supposed to because I'm not naive. I'm not foolish.
Fair.
If it's a high-profile case, they can Google.
Yeah.
I mean, Alondra may know nothing about this case, and in 5 seconds, she can pull it up. She can know all about the Low Country. She can know all about the alleged murders. She can know about the alleged timelines and what are the flaws in the timelines. She can know about inadmissible evidence that's not coming in the trial that the jury should never know about that she can get. And look, let me say this. I've watched this trial. Mm-hmm. I think he killed those people.
Have you watched the documentary?
I have not watched the documentary.
Well, no, I ask you that very intentionally because that if you watch the documentary, you will 100%. Christy and I are only 3 episodes into this one.
Yeah.
But you will 100% believe, he killed these people.
Right.
And his son was just a rampant killer as well, who probably need killing himself.
Right.
That's the way Netflix put the story out there.
They ain't just killing hogs in the Low Country.
No, I mean, there are connections to anybody who's ever died in South Carolina. has been connected back to the Murdaughs via this documentary. It's stupid, Franz. And to think that a jury has access to this.
Well, you can't blame
burn him, hang him, kill him with fire.
Here's the thing, though. The best gatekeeper for this is the court. The court could sequester this jury. And I know we don't like that idea.
No, well, do we not like that? I tell you what, we got news coming up. Let's pick it up there when we come back. Is legally served as part of Mornings with Brian Haldane. We're continuing after news. It is 6:30. On YouTube, ominous background music.
It's like the Law and Order. Dun, dun, dun.
Which is in your open. I gotta find a way to get this story in about Bill Cassidy today. I don't know where we're gonna get this in, but Bill Cassidy did it again, Franz. So, I have a running bit on the show about how Congressman Garrett Graves is the best prop man on Capitol Hill. Whenever there's a discussion going on the floor, he'll like have somebody pull up a poster, or he'll have some level of
demonstratives.
Prop. Yes, it shows up on C-SPAN. It makes for great copy, but it emphasizes his point in person as well. Right. Now, that's perfect.
Thriller sounds right.
That is right
the
there.
Opening to Thriller.
So while Congressman Graves does that, Senator Cassidy is the acronym master.
Okay.
If you want to name a bill after something, call on Senator Cassidy.
What's the new acronym?
Headline: Cassidy-Barrasso bill helps NATO allies escape dependence on Russia. U.S. Senators Bill Cassidy and John Barrasso from Wyoming and 26 colleagues introduced legislation to enhance the energy security of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization members by providing an escape from dependence on Russian energy. The bill is titled the Energy Security Cooperation with Allied Partners in Europe, the Escape Act. Energy Security Cooperation, Allied Partners, Europe, the Escape Act.
I like it. I saw Graves at Simple Joe's, and then I saw Graves at City Roots Coffee. He's a man of the people.
He was doing a little tour in town the other day. Yeah. Making the rounds, hearing from the people.
Is it a tour if it's the town you live in?
Yes.
It's a tour?
Yes. Okay. Yes. If you've got town hall meetings to go to.
Okay. Well,
hey, I'm gonna be at Simple Jack's for a little while.
No.
How many more sleeps till Mama come back?
Oh, funny.
That movie is back in the headlines because people on social media are stupid.
You know, I've never been in a documentary.
I know where this is going. I'm gonna beg of you.
Didn't do it. Never been one. And in fact, I tell people, as a defense attorney, I am uncomfortable with Netflix or anybody, any true crime, filming a case that's being propped and prepared for trial. And I've had cases, Brian, that would be prime for documentaries. Serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
Jace Crahan killed the rapist, his fiance's rapist.
Mm-hmm. This poor woman.
Is James in Scouts?
No.
Okay. This is the Pine Derby season.
Oh, is it?
I want to claw. No. I want to claw.
He would be into that, not me.
His son almost talked to me on Friday. I've only been around him like 20 times. He and Fisher got along well, though.
Oh, I gotta run upstairs. I've got it. It's in my bag.
He and Fisher get along well.
Yeah, they do.
I had Alondra. I had fried Knights of Columbus fried fish with Brian Haldane and his wife on Friday. My fiance, my son, we were all there. It was lovely.
Yeah, I forwarded it to you. Okay, How can I do this? Hide ad. There we go. Okay.
I got court today.
I just
in
told
juvie.
You know what?
I got juvenile court today.
Let's talk all about that. Oh, I may have deleted it after forwarding it.
You know what we never got a chance to talk about? But, you know, it's a topic that I love. Me. That jury trial I just had. Bridget Julie DiGirolamo, the baseball bat, the car, the flood. We never talked about that.
No, we didn't. Time to get a look at your forecast. Here's WBRZ meteorologist Marissa Nuzzo. I'm not seeing it here. I don't know what happened to it, Alondra. Oh, there it is. This is in my other file.
Wait, we have a cool front?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I need it cool for Sunday.
It will be.
If you and Christy, with nothing going on Sunday, 3:30, and you just happen to be on LSU's campus, you just might want to take a seat.
Why?
Just saying, Sunday, 3:30 at the Amphitheater. If you're in that region, if you just sat down there and just looked towards the center of it, you might see something.
Does this have to do with the scouts you're just talking about?
Mm-mm. I've already told you what's going down the pipe. I've already told you what's going down the pipe. You just haven't connected it yet. You'll connect it. You'll figure it out. You're a smart guy.
The case you just finished?
No. This is not ominous music.
637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, 72 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Gotta love that. Gotta love a forecast that brings a cool front end for the weekend. We are rolling right along here on Mornings with Brian Haldane, legally served. We do it every Wednesday. We're talking with attorney Franz Borghardt about real time, basically documentary.
Why are we so excited and pumped up about true crime? What I mean, maybe I'm desensitized because I'm in it.
No, well, I ask this question every time I have a chance to talk with somebody about this topic. If they're involved in a documentary or a podcast or whatever, is we have an absolute obsession with true crime. It's voyeuristic entertainment.
It's better than The Price is Right.
Well, is it though? I mean, I could go home with people go home from The Price is Right with a trip to Hawaii or a new car.
Well, what
Alex Murdaugh is not going home with a new car.
What you don't see, what I worry about, is folks, citizens, bring true crime and their love of true crime into courtrooms.
Yeah,
and it affects juries.
Yes.
It affects makeup. It affects expectations of juries.
Right, but there's also this perception behind rich people behaving badly. That will skew your overall perception.
It's the Real Housewives.
It is the Real Housewives, and it changes the way things are perceived. From the Associated Press, and I'm going to read 3 paragraphs to you twice, just to make a point, okay? Alex Murdaugh's former law partner said Tuesday that he is past his anger over millions of dollars stolen from the firm as the final witnesses in the South Carolina double murder trial testified, and the court prepared to bring jurors to the scene of the killings. Ronnie Crosby had a testy exchange with defense attorney Dick Harpootlian. Am I pronouncing that right? All right.
Yes.
As prosecutors got a chance to reply to the defense's case, including by rebutting their experts who suggested 2 different shooters killed Murdaugh's wife and son. On Wednesday, jurors will ride 40 minutes to the sprawling Colleton County property,
Low Country,
where the Murdaughs lived. No testimony will be given, and they can't ask questions. They will return to the courthouse for closing arguments. Let me stop right there, Franz, and do this again. Only let's do this with that little bit of Netflix flair.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alex Murdaugh's former law partner said Tuesday that he's past his anger over millions of dollars stolen from the firm millions of dollars stolen from the firm. As the final witnesses in the South Carolina double murder testified, and the court prepared to bring jurors to the scene of the killings. Millions stolen, while Murdaugh separately has had trouble reportedly paying his bills. Ronnie Crosby had a testy exchange with defense attorney Dick Harpootlian as prosecutors got a chance to reply to the defense's case, including by rebutting their experts who suggested 2 different shooters killed Murdaugh's wife and son. Cut away to somebody that Alec Murdaugh knew in elementary school who says, I don't see how that could happen. Back in. Today, jurors will ride 40 minutes to the sprawling Colleton County property. Cut away to somebody who knew Alec Murdaugh back in elementary school who says, I mean, that guy's got a lot of property, a lot of land, and a lot of money. How? Cut back in. The property where the Murdaughs lived until they were murdered. No testimony will be given. They can't ask questions. They'll return to the courthouse for closing arguments. It sounds different when you've got Jason Voorhees behind your right shoulder.
You know who I blame for this?
Who?
Carol
Baskin?
From the Tiger King. Was that the big one? So think back.
I don't think so, because she didn't murder anybody, allegedly.
No. Think back to documentaries. That wasn't the first, but that set the stage, right? Pandemic.
Free time on our hands?
Free time on our hands. Train wreck that I could not look at.
Right.
And that's really, to me.
Could not look away from either.
Yeah, couldn't look away from. That's what these documentaries are, right? Mm-hmm. It's watching, especially if it's like a affluent person that has lots of money that we're like, wait, what? If I had lots of money, I wouldn't murder my wife.
Right.
I wouldn't have any problems if I had lots of money.
Well, because everything in my life is bad because bad people have more money than me.
Right.
And that's where you want to seek to find negative things about rich people, and that's what you get with something. Now, that's not to say I am in no way, shape, or form like throwing some kind of support behind Alec Murdaugh. Like, that's not what this is. By all accounts, he could be the worst person in the world. I don't know. What I do know is the perspective that I'm given and the information that I'm given, a lot of it just opinion by people who are bystanders.
So let me bring you back to the staircase.
Yes,
because
please.
You are a great example of you're astutely observant enough to know that depending on which documentary you watch, that may skew your view on whether or not you believe somebody did or didn't do something.
Right.
One documentary may lean to a certain degree as to innocence, right? And by the way, from a drama standpoint, there always has to be that small element of what if this person didn't do it, right?
Right.
That's what, if they just are a cold-blooded murderer and they did it and we're just watching it, then the drama is maybe this person might get off, right?
Right.
Right. So Staircase, 2 different documentaries, right? Or
no, a documentary and a docudrama.
Docudrama.
Because it was a movie, but I mean,
who was in that docudrama again?
Do what?
Who was in that docudrama? Who was the main character?
Michael Peter. Oh, what was his name in real life?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
It's that famous British actor, right?
Yeah, I wish I thought.
Whatever.
Make me look.
I can't wait until we watch the Alec Baldwin Rust documentary.
I mean,
it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. What was that guy's name? Now I'm stuck on this, and it has nothing to do with the overall topic.
I know.
Colin Firth.
Love Actually.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, you have a documentary on Netflix and a docudrama on HBO, but they were after the conviction,
right? Which is fine with me. I think that's the perfect time. If you want to do a docudrama or a documentary on how jacked up and messed up a trial is, or a system is, or how this person got off, or how this person may have gotten railroaded, knock yourself out.
Right.
It's when you do it during the case, which kudos to being able to do it in real time during the trial, right? That's not as easy as you might think. So I just, by the way, this Murdaugh trial is coming to a head. They're going to take a crime scene tour and they're going to do closing arguments.
We got a minute and a half till break. We'll talk about the actual trial in just a minute. But wrapping up on the documentary being out in real time, is there a way to put a stop to that? There's no way to put a stop to that,
Only
right?
with the jury.
So
Only with the jury.
no matter what happens in that courtroom, Alec Murdaugh's life is basically over with.
Well, he's never going to get off.
Right.
Because he has the financial crimes.
But there's also, in the court of public opinion, everywhere he goes, if he's found innocent, or if if the case is whatever.
OJ's doing fine.
Sure.
Isn't he?
He's
tweeting and golfing.
Twitter world? Yeah. No, he's a different scenario altogether. Okay? But no matter what, Alec Murdaugh will not be able to go anywhere without being the guy who killed his wife and sister.
Yeah, sure.
Like, no matter what happens, because we have 100% definitive proof. And when it comes down to, you know what? We're going to get caught by the clock here. We had a break. We'll check traffic. We'll check your money now. He's attorney Franz Borgard. We'll continue next at 6:46.
He needs to tell his story. Alec needs to tell his story.
Which, that's another part of this that the Netflix documentary Michael Peterson did, or the docudrama of HBO did, was you had both sides, which is why you had more belief in Peterson than
was he the one who was using the bathroom and the mic was still on during the documentary?
No, that's the Jinx.
That's the Jinx.
Durst.
Yeah. Yeah, I killed him.
Robert Durst.
I shot the...
Not Fred Durst.
I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk.
No, and Robert Durst's actual quote was, "Well, they got you." I think that's how he said it.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Mike at the pisser. I mean,
that's how they get you all the time.
I know. Dang it.
Hey, Government Taco's still open.
They were doing good the other night.
It's got parking. That's a big thing for that area.
A lot more now that Florida Lee can't kick you out of their lot. Still wouldn't park in their lot. I think Florida Lee shut down their doors and still hired the detail cop to work it.
What's going to happen with Florida Lee's space?
I don't know. Burned.
It's like Goodfellas. When all the money's gone, collect the insurance check. How do you feel about our girl and the AI technology? I know we're not going to have time to talk about it, but the AI technology advertisement for the gymnast, the LSU gymnast.
Oh, shit. We probably should talk about that. Is there a legal angle here?
Can she be academically held accountable through their legal system? But not really. Yeah. I think we stick with the true crime. Alondra, you're a true crime girl? Okay.
It's interesting, but I'm not like all in on it. You know what I mean? I don't watch all the documentaries. It makes me paranoid more than anything.
You put that second lock on the door, like, yeah, I got you.
I'm already paranoid.
You're paranoid? You don't strike me as paranoid. You're paranoid?
A little bit.
Okay.
Like, I get a little bit, like, everything makes me a little nervous. Like, I just always think I'm going to get kidnapped or murdered.
You know, I was talking to someone the other day about how, from a spatial awareness standpoint, as a guy, I don't, like, if I'm somewhere, I'm not like, oh, someone's going to kidnap and murder me. Or if I go get an Uber, it never crosses my mind that the Uber driver could kidnap, rape me, put me in a...
Even with all the kidnappers and murderers that are on the street just because of you?
I know. Near mercy.
Hey, nobody was murdered this time.
But, like, that Adoration Chapel. I never sit in there and think...
Oh, I never worry about Adoration.
Yeah.
Do what? Okay. It is 6:49 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We're going to get you caught up with ABC News here in about 10 minutes. In hour 2 of the show, let's talk about this latest development with the Stanford Ponzi scheme and how some folks might be a little bit closer to getting money back. Also, Matt Kennedy's going to join us at 7:15. Also, next hour, Congressman Garrett Graves will be by for DC Current, presented by LABI. Right now, here's your money now.
It's because there's a floater.
Yeah.
And it was for your show, so I didn't want to play it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Alondra, I walk into a Circle K at 2 a.m. I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get armed, robbed, and kidnapped.
I'll give you an example. Last night, LSU, kind of late.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 10 maybe. And I was out of gas, so I needed gas. And I stopped at the gas station, and somebody walked by me while I was putting gas, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is it."
This is it.
I was like, "This is it."
This is the They're gonna make a documentary about
Yes.
radio producer.
I was the only one putting gas, and there's one guy, and it's that sketchy gas station on Nicholson.
The Chevron?
Circle K.
Oh.
To be fair, if you get kidnapped on that one, that's on you. There's other gas stations around there that are. Go to Highland.
Man, yeah.
And it would
someone walked by me and I was shaking. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't shaking, but I was
yeah. I mean,
I was just being vigilant.
I was sitting in a church parking lot garden, the little garden, just sitting out reading, not thinking anything about it. And it's not. I mean, the entire city is a high crime area. There's no part of the city that's not quote unquote high crime. There's higher crime in certain areas.
Get rid of an apartment complex.
Dude, I would love to build a house there. I would love
to build more than one.
Okay. We can develop it. We know some guys.
Yeah. That property goes back a good ways.
I'm surprised the school hasn't tried to buy it.
Section 8, so it's guaranteed money. There's a lot of difficulties to that.
As our friend Lo said. Oh. Is the mics? Are the mics on? Please no.
652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Going to wrap up talking about the Murdaugh trial, which we'll get into the actual trial here in a minute. And I don't think we're going to have time to talk about I wanted to talk about this proposed law. You've been asked for commentary on this one already.
And WAFB, God bless them, asked me to do commentary on it, and I'm like, I'm not that kind of a lawyer. And I gave them the names of other people, and they were like, no, we want you.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
Right.
I mean, who am I to deprive the people?
Well, I wanted you to follow up on that commentary with what basically just repeating what you had to say, but we'll see if we get to. Yeah. The session doesn't begin until April 10th, so we've got time. This trial, however, will be over in short order. Before we get to the nuts and bolts of where you think the trial is headed, the true crime world, I think, is broken down into 3 different pieces, especially in the podcast space, right? Well, let's call it 4 different pieces when you include the Netflix documentaries. The Netflix documentaries are voyeuristic entertainment.
Right.
And it's the worst part of it. It is the worst part of our being, is seeking the worst in others, our own bloodlust when we watch things like this. And if you're not willing to admit that's what you're engaging in, then you're not being honest with yourself. That's the purpose of these things. Then on the podcast end, you've got the junior detectives
who are trying to solve crimes. You've got the real detectives. The only facet of this world that does it the right way is the Woody Overtons of the world. Well,
real life, real crime. Woody Overton. I will forever be a fan. He does things the right way along the way with this.
Okay.
And we've seen arrests and convictions because of his work.
Okay.
Have we not?
Is he okay? But again, the problem is in my mind, there is a thin line, a thin boundary between him and the Weekend Warrior podcasters, because how do you we know he's good because of what he does, right?
He's got a career of public service and in law enforcement under his belt. He knows the rules. Right. He knows how to do things the right way.
Right. That's fine. But the sea of space between him and the podcasters leaves room for a lot of different things.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not, I get nervous. Look, I want law enforcement to to be the ones solving the crimes. I want them to do it right to where sleazy, manipulative, awesome, high-paid criminal defense attorneys like yours truly can't get somebody off that shouldn't be able to get off. Now, my innocent clients get off all day long. But I want the job to be done right. And in a perfect world, it's done right. The system works the way it's supposed to work, right?
Yes.
I get nervous when I see these little podcasters who are like solving the crime. Well, they're also tainting national jury pools, which again, we've talked about before, right? I can complain about that all I want. There's nothing we can do about it. News is in real time now. It's
No, but there's a difference between news being in real time and this is it's opinion driven. It's emotionally motivated, not factually motivated. And the third part of the podcast world would be the Innocence Project people.
They're
the
just
people
trying to
they're going in after the fact, trying to unprove something that was proven in a court of law.
trying to get somebody not to have the death penalty.
Which fine, walk down that path. If you can show that somebody in the 1970s or 80s was given an unfair shake at things, and you can right the wrong for the rest for their remaining time on Earth, go for it. Have at it. But it leaves open the door for, like we said, the junior detective, the weekend warrior. All right, we got 3.5 minutes left. This trial is winding down. Where do you see it going?
So I was predicting an acquittal up until the last.
As did Richard Sprinkle last week during this. He didn't predict an acquittal.
Up until the last witness for the state, Dr. Kinsey, who has done a fantastic job for the state.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think there's reasonable doubt. Let me say this. I think he murdered those people.
Sure.
He doesn't murder those people. I think there's reasonable doubt in this case. And I think the crime scene is going to go towards the defense and not the state, because I think it's been sanitized, it's been cleaned up, and no matter what you tell them, they're seeing it and they're viewing it in the lens of this is what we're seeing right now in real time. I think that's going to help the defense out. So would I be shocked at an acquittal? No. I think he done kill those people, though.
So
I say that again.
So last week, while you were out, Richard basically said that the prosecution had up to that point not done the best job around. Right. They left a lot to be desired. So the difference between last week and this week, they were kind of holding some of their cards back, I guess. Have played better cards since then.
Well, they made the case about the financial issues, and that afforded him, the defendant, an opportunity to lean into all the things he did wrong in a vulnerable and almost credible way.
Yeah.
To where he became sympathetic and almost believable, even though I believe he killed those people.
Having not followed the trial, but I am 3 episodes into the documentary.
Yeah.
I got to ask for a side-by-side comparison in our last 2 minutes here. Has the trial itself made a whole lot of mention of everybody that Paul allegedly killed? The son?
They've glossed. Dude, these are horrible people doing horrible things.
The first 3 episodes of this documentary basically make the son out to be a serial killer.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's like watching Yellowstone. The train station is the Low Country, man. I mean, it's and the funny thing is it's small town justice. So it's hard for us to wrap our brains around how did these people get away with all the stuff they've been doing for like decades? Well, we know how it is, right?
Well, and that's the thing. No, we know how it is, and we can all convict them in their minds without the benefit of a trial of each and every little thing along the way. And just watch the documentary.
They should have hired
You'll hate yourself. You will
well,
absolutely.
I sometimes hate myself. Anyway.
I mean, fair. Anyway, not going to have time to get into this proposed legislation. Let's book that for next week, since we got plenty of time before the April 10th beginning of the legislative session. In the meanwhile, he's Attorney Franz Borghardt. We always appreciate you, man.
All right.